We've seen him banned, I believe, the first 2 games. So we'll obviously most likely see that eventually in Nox's hands, of course. But Moon Queen coming out as the first pick here. Again, though, you look at that lock pool, nothing too off the wall when it comes down to it. It's much different than the last lock pool. Last lock pool was all about the mass supports. This time around, it's all about the mass gankers and whatnot. So going to be fun to see, of course, how this game progresses now. But again, this is game number 3 here. The winner stays for tomorrow at least. And the losers, obviously, they're done here for the DreamHack Summer Qualifiers. So a lot is riding on the line. Indeed, indeed.
Right. So, well, we see Moon Queen pick up right away here at the start. Snap picked by Nova in this case. No more of the Terror Heroes. Fade is on the board. We've seen him banned in each of the previous sets, so that presence being available. And, you know, when you have a hard carry like Moon Queen, if Fade can buy her that room to farm with her gank potential, with the scouting tools, and just those early game pickoffs can really help a hero like Moon Queen snowball. Pebble's locked up there. Tundra has not really seen much play from either team on this board, which going to game 3 here, despite other teams having favored him a lot, since the changes would lead me to believe that they're sort of going to ignore him again here. Lodestone in a game like that, he had success in game 1. QsQ obviously not fearing him enough to ban him, and they haven't really seemed to want to pick him themselves. They sort of let him skirt by. Justice League might be done with him though after a game like this where it didn't quite have the success they wanted in game 2. I still think it's very powerful, and it is still another viable suicide option if they need it, and they could still make it work with their current draft and the lock pool. So you have to see if they fall. They mentioned they fall back on what they know.
Yeah.
In circumstances where they're backed up. So.
Yeah, we'd love to see that Lodestone again. I mean, he definitely had the great first couple of just an entertaining hero. He really is. The more and more I'm seeing him, so we'd love to see the Lodestone picked up again here. But only one more chance for that. You see the Hammerstorm Glacius though coming out.
See,
Q Squad.
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of the Hammerstorm. Actually, kind of funny because at least not when he's being played in the carry. There is potential that we could see him in more of that secondary support role. Still, in that roaming position alongside with the Glacius and setting things up, because there's a couple of very powerful solos still available here in this pool. So actually, I don't want to say it yet, but initial thoughts maybe leaning towards something like that.
Artillery, the final pick coming out here for Justice League. So they get their carry option.
You pick Moon Queen, we're picking Artillery.
Yeah.
And here's the head-to-head face-off of the 2 God carries from the previous version. Deadwood drafted. I mean, see, they're either going aggressive. They can very easily just go for an aggressive try once again with Moon Queen at this point. Pick up a couple solos, and that honestly, I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Deadwood, the first pick there. There's the Pebbles Pharaoh in response coming out here from Justice League as far as their 2 pickups. And now the final pick going to be coming out for Q Squad. Again, what is it going to be? Finish things off here, and then I'll give us some more information as to maybe what that Hammerstorm specifically could be ran as. But
I haven't been too fond of him lately when he plays that primary farmer. But in a game like this where he's being played as more of that utility slot, it's going to be interesting. We see there, of course, Male playing the utility when he's not on the jungle is going to be the one playing that more roaming, more active Hammerstorm. And he's a hero that when I saw the refreshment room changes, I'm like, okay, maybe we will see a little bit more of that again. And with Tri-Lanes coming back, I'm like, yeah, maybe we will see more of him, playing that. Because as long as he ultimately gets his portal key, is still a very powerful portal key, Shrunken Head, and does a lot of damage for a hero that's actually placed into that role. So.
Yeah.
Some more old school vibe coming out there.
All right. So as the announcer says, let's get it on. Let's move into game number 3 here. And, well, hold your horses a little bit. Going to have a pause to start things off. But, yeah, Papa Mele, sure enough, on the Hammerstorms. They're going to see that secondary support and the roam potential, perhaps, going to be coming out. So excited to see how that takes place. Obviously, you look at the Hellborn side and what they eventually ended up with. A pretty damn active team surrounding that Artillery, at least, kind of building it to buy him the time, of course, to eventually get the farm that he needs to take over the game. I mean, I guess kind of fun. It's age-old question. I mean, who would be the better late-game carry, you think? If it came to the same farm, both can get, like, the items they're looking for, you think Artillery or Moon Queen? Who would you rather have?
Artillery is certainly better at holding off pushes in terms of raw carry potential. I don't know, man. I mean, Artillery does have that safe positioning. Just Moon Queen's explosive snowball potential. The bounce is happening all around, the base destruction. I think I do prefer a Moon Queen a bit, but in terms of being able to acquire that farm, being safe during laning, all that, artillery has the edge. So, I don't know. I mean, they were both banned out for a reason. They both do have a lot of explosive potential. I wouldn't just say, oh, this hero is better than the other. You have to look at how they fit into the team composition that's surrounding them. I mean, you pick your carry of choice. Every hero has skill sets, and yeah, they do have carry potential for 2 different reasons there. So it depends more on the team that's surrounding them and that makeup in the build-up rather than the hero individually.
Yeah. So, here we go. Again, resuming back into this game. And remember, last game, it started off with a 5 versus 5 action, a pretty chaotic game. Starting things off there. It looks like this time around, though, not going to be the same story. Both teams going in to the long lane here, as far as all 5 of them, in fact, for both sides. So, as we see on the mini-map, not going to be running into one another here to get things kicked off.
If you were to pit those heroes 1v1 against each other in the woods or something, I'd give it to the Moon Queen.
Yeah,
at that point, just due to the nature of her item build-up, but that's...
Of course. So, again, not gonna be finding anybody here. It's obviously, as a spectator at times like this, you're kind of like, okay, guys, come on, you can just go. But of course, their information a little bit different than ours.
That is not a team you want to run into level 1, though, man.
On both sides, really.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
You see Wretched Hag eventually making her way all the way down here, though, and actually...
She's in a little bit of a bad spot. I mean, she doesn't have vision up this hill. Tilla might spot her out if she chooses to go down here. Hasn't really... not really committing anywhere yet. I'm not sure if they had the read on him or if he was just outside the range of vision, but either way, he's in a back on out, and item build that... I'm actually going to see where Deadwood rotates. If Deadwood goes to the solo side or not, Wretched Hag is... moving back top, it looks like. And it looks like everyone on their team is adjusting the lanes once again. So they probably figured that tri-lane is going to be in the bottom, and looks like they may want to be going up against it.
Yeah, I got to read right there something. But I also saw Wretched Hag, the reason why he was there in the first place, spotting out any attempt at level 1 Kongor. I'm pretty sure, just making sure that wasn't going on. And especially when you do have a Pharaoh on one side, you always have to be... at least keeping that in mind, as far on the Hellborn's team specifically.
Oh, that's yeah, of course. Yes, she's just running the scout there, but she did get very close. If she walked a little bit closer to that ledge below, Torture was waiting up there, and you know, with the leads down and the entire team behind it, might have put her in a pretty bad spot. So at least she didn't put herself in danger's way.
We are going to pause right here. I want to take a quick look at the AL series by chance, see if that has gone anywhere. Let's see. Nope. That's not that. No, that's from yesterday. So unfortunately, can't see. It's not showing up for me. I'm pretty sure they also host a public game, so I'm a little surprised it's not showing up for me when it comes down to it.
If they hosted a public game, it should be.
Yeah, they played.
They really are the lobby just ever made. You can just ask one of them, honestly. I mean,
well, they've at least played game 1. There's no way they haven't played a game 1
AL versus Afraid.
Yeah.
I see it right here.
Is it right? Oh, okay.
That was...
Ah, yeah, I see it too, actually.
There's 2 games they played. AL won the first game. They, pick Monkey King, AL. AL, man, that seems to be their secret to success. Obviously, I don't know why they don't just pick Monkey King every game that's available.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Monkey King plus Moon Queen definitely taking the point in game 1, but... Yeah, the response for sure coming up by
Look at that. Oogie. 6-0-12. Mr. Ling playing Oogie in game 2.
Gnome's Wisdom, Grimmars, and a Sheep Stick, man, in 33 minutes. Farmed out of his mind, and yeah, the Nomad was not able to contest. I wonder if Magebane was even banned out in that game, or if it was the blocker.
Yeah.
Why they ultimately chose to go, then how the drafting sort of panned out. It's very likely that... I don't know, maybe Oogie wasn't locked or something. Maybe they last picked it out of the normal drafting phase, and thus it couldn't be countered by... I don't know how that played out, so take a look later.
It's being casted by Coldcast, again, as a reminder, so I'm sure maybe people saw it over there, too, and if anything, watch the VOD from over there later on, so... but yeah, that's exciting to see, because again, Oogie was not only the one that a lot of people maybe kind of saw coming with the patch, but he seems like a really just entertaining hero, the Conflagger. I mean, just the way he plays and everything, it just seems like a fun hero to watch, so... I would personally kind of like to see this back coming out. Meanwhile, though, a Deadwood at the bottom lane. Attempt Bloodlust kill coming out right here. Not going to be enough, though, in the end. He saw, I mean, a decent stagger of the stuns, but it's just not enough damage in the end.
I mean, he was right at level 1. Torture Sun doesn't do the most amount of damage. Alunda doesn't have any lockdown yet, just having the power throw level 1. So, yeah, is able to maintain a pretty safe positioning. Meanwhile, that Hammerstorm Glacius combination that we talked about, man, is going to be scouted out here by Imba Boy with that ward sight behind the mid lane. So they had the read on the lanes. Maybe Deadwood wasn't quite so sure what was going on. Artillery still has to be careful, though, but given his long range, he doesn't even have his bunker down yet, but when he gets it, especially if he positions himself to the right of that tower, he's going to be extremely safe. So Glacius and Hammerstorm have got to be frustrated. You've got to wonder, Glacius had that rev ward, and seeing how Artillery acted, he may have figured that there was one there, but just not being confident enough, clearly, so they might wind up wasting time trying for a second gank.
Yeah. I mean, you see Pharaoh, he obviously saw that they were coming back, so he eventually fell back himself. He runs into Hammerstorm right here, but they're just going to have a battle of weapons here, auto attacks, and go back and forth. Back to the bottom lane, Torture and Aluna kind of doing a around the rosy here, around the jungle. Now going to go try to find Deadwood once again, but he's currently hiding here. Oh, man, he might get caught out here somewhat. Yeah, they are going to find him, but they're just going to put in the auto attacks and harass him quite a bit. There's a chain reactions, and Style going to take a good amount of damage right there. He did use a health potion, obviously, right away, and now he's going to start using his Tangos here, but he's having a difficult time when it comes to farm. He is level 3, though, at least. That's good news for Style.
Yeah, he still has a couple of those left at least, so he's able to sustain himself. And meanwhile, the roam is now being attempted at the 2-minute mark as we see that refresh room creating movement. Losing to pick it up and grab it, and maybe see if she can try to make something happen here on this mid lane against the red attack. Artillery's not the easiest partner to gank for, though. Yeah. So I'm not sure that that's the case. I mean, she can blink right out of there. She has a double damage rune right now. Not sure how they're trying to set this up, or if they're just trying to sort of adjust and maybe buy their Pharaoh some space after giving the Pebbles a little bit of an early start.
And speaking of Pharaoh, I mean, he actually took a bit of harassment again there from Glacius and Hammerstorm, but in the end he gets to the tower and going to be fine. Nova eventually did counter the ward aside, but you look at Torture coming in here, going to counter the counter ward, but at what cost right here? Takes a stun from Hammerstorm. The Tundra Blast top of the Torture chain reactions hitting both. Artillery's running in, going to come in and actually assist to finish off the ward of Rev and eventually scare off the Glacius Hammerstorm combination. So just some fun back and forth going on right there. But still no Bloodlust kill despite a lot of activity early on. Oh, okay, right as I say that, Deadwood goes down. I didn't catch the action, of course, but Pebbles and Aluna, looks like they come together and eventually get the Bloodlust kill at the bottom lane.
And perhaps a bit distracted there, though. Pebbles had the earlier start here against the Deadwood, who has virtually been able to look up like just, what, 3-4 CS at this point. So Pebbles with those earlier items, with those boots over the Deadwood, and Aluna had roamed back to the bottom lane after, like, hey, you know, we can't actually gank this Wretched Hag. Still, applying pressure, needs one more auto attack on top of it. It's not going to be enough.
Yeah, very, very close right there, but definitely doing the math that Artillery eventually stays alive. Top lane while that was happening, Zane does get taken out. Wretched Hag going back in the middle, and the meantime, chain reactions come out. The Alaram on top of that, Wretched Hag dropping quickly, a couple more auto attacks, and yes, Tilla will get credit for the counter kill on a Jonas fan. So Zane goes down on the top lane, but Artillery and Torture at least get a counter kill on a Hag here in the middle lane in the meantime.
Yeah, I noticed when our Artillery survived there with barely any health that the Haunt was never applied.
Yeah.
So it was still up for Wretched Hag, and, well, maybe he had used it before and it was on cooldown, but I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure he had it up. I mean, at the end of the gank anyway, he had it up, so yeah, it was, as far as I know, it wasn't used, and maybe that's the difference maker. Meanwhile, here on the top lane, Pharaoh just sitting back, trying to soak up whatever experience he can. It's at a favorable spot for him to at least try to catch up a bit here. Moon Queen having the time of her life, though, sitting at nearly 400 gold per minute on top of that early kill.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting GPM chart. I was just looking at that myself. I mean, you got Moon Queen just way up there, and then the rest of the team's just derp, nothing. I mean, Wretched Hag obviously under 75, just trying to manage, but then it just completely falls off after that. So, speaking of Deadwood, actually, he's going to run into a Luna Torch right here. The chain reactions come out on top of the Aluna stun, but not nearly enough damage output. So in the end, again, just more and more harassment coming on to Deadwood, and as they just get him to move around. It looks like QsQ is trying to make some kind of adjustments here as far as opening up some farm for more people, but yeah, I guess in the end, when you have a Moon Queen getting the farm that she does have, you can at least be happy with that. But on the other side of the spectrum, you have a Pebbles getting the very same farm, and
yeah, he's got the steam boots down there. Pebbles doesn't even have boots yet. He's like, I can't go back down there. He has lane positioning. He has lane control. He might as well just try to roam and set something up. So much like how the Torture was sitting behind the Artillery and sort of baited out the gank, maybe Deadwood's trying to apply the same counter pressure here in mid. Nothing yet, though. I mean, Artillery's not the kind of hero that's going to be up in your face. He's going to be sitting back, farming the lane pretty passively and making you to do something about it.
Yeah, Artillery right here has Torture babysitting him currently. You see Wretched Hag kind of playing up a little bit. He also does have Dead One nearby. Rotten Grasp attempt, but no, Artillery's able to dodge it. And not get caught. So puts the bunker down and gonna go for auto attacks on the Wretched Hag, keep the harassment up. Good job by Artillery right there. So again, looking back at that goal per minute chart, pretty much the same story as it was before. Zergo nearing that 400 goal per minute mark now here on Pebbles. He's already got the Steam Boots, got 3 minor totems, a buckler. Well, he might just be going straight into that portal key at this rate. Right after finishing the Steam Boots.
Yeah, I look at the momentum for this game, and I see that Pharaoh, although he's suffering, compared to, like, he's pretty much in Deadwood's shoes, right? A little bit more experience, but he has a guaranteed initiate no matter what, even without that portal key. So
yeah,
he's a little bit more sound without that. And then I see Artillery, he's farming a little bit less than Moon Queen, so for carry, Moon Queen currently leading the way. But then you have a Pebbles factor on top of it all, where you're trying to compare the Pebbles to the Deadwood's farm in that case. Then you have this Pebbles, man, this Beast Initiator sitting at 400 gold per minute that they really don't have a response to here on the Legion side. So right now with the pacing of the game, and especially with...
Very good stagger of stunts right there. If it wasn't for the staggering of stunts as well as it was not a kill.
That was perfectly timed. Nice artillery barrage there. And yeah, very well played. But yeah, I was going to say, especially the synergy going on with how much they're suffering here on the Legion team early game with most of the heroes that aren't Moon Queen. And how well that Pharaoh artillery also combined with that Mummy Wall into the artillery LRM. It's looking like a rough climb here for QsQ.
It is. It's odd saying that, considering Moon Queen is the top farm of the game, and it's impressive, man. 410 gold per minute, but exactly the reasons you're making right there. It seems like Justice League, despite that, is in a favorable spot. I mean, the golden experience for themselves kind of speak for that.
I'm just not even worried looking at so much the overall numbers as I am just like the individual heavy hitters that I feel like will be making the plays, you know? Yeah.
Well, again, Pebbles, what better than Pebbles getting the start that he has. So, and again, at this rate, it looks like he really is going to be going straight into that portal key, basically, right after the Steam Boots finish. So Whispering Elm, in the meantime, is finished by Nox here.
That's the
playing the Moon Queen.
It's a good old 9-minute portal key.
Yeah.
That's... How many games it's either 9 minutes or 15 minutes, man.
Yeah.
There's no other option. Unless you're stuck in some, Team M game with the feeding Pebbles and he's rocking like his 30-minute portal key now. Competitive play, typically unless someone's having a really, really suffer time,
yeah,
you get that 9 or 15 minutes. Because you usually try to put your Pebbles in a lane situation that's favorable in the first place.
Of course.
There are those odd circumstances where you try to do something a little bit different and mix it up and you get shut down, but that's...
Yeah, prioritizing farm on Pebbles, at least for the early game, is something it's been done for ages now. So, and no different here. He has enough gold now for the portal key. Just needs to finish off this creep wave here, and then eventually go to the side shop and purchase it. So, now the question will be, we see it all the time. Let's be honest. Where we do see Pebbles, they get a very fast portal key, and then they just continue to farm. It's unfortunate seeing that. You hope for obviously Justice League's sake for. Being played by Zergo here, that in fact yours is already starting to back up and going to look for an opportunity now. He does have a homecoming stone.
It's kind of that first fight immediately after they pick up the portal key that decides that. Sometimes you see the portal key being picked up and used a little bit too aggressively. Going to find a quick kill on the style here, playing that Deadwood. So initiative factor of the portal key is ruined, but holding down his counterpoint in this match even further. 150 gold, 80 gold per minute here, Breaky. 80 gold per minute. And I was wondering at the start, I was like, Artillery would be Deadwood in this matchup, but do you really want to be sending him here, throwing him to the Wolves here in this matchup? Because there has been a history of aggressive lanes so far throughout from both teams in this game. And
yeah,
a little bit surprised to see that, but Tilla, let's see how he's doing. Mana Battery, Portal, nowhere near his boots yet, but he's okay with taking that sacrifice.
We talked about Zane. I mean, playing that fairy. He's still level 4, but he does have boots here. And, again, when he gets the level 6 mark, he gives a great utility to the team. So the fact that he is...
He's got to be close to 5, right? Let me see if I was level 5 here. So. He's level 5 here. I'm trying to compare the experience.
These charts are pretty hilarious. The gold and the experience chart. I mean, the gold chart definitely... It's got
Pharaoh.
3 players on either side that are just horrendous for both. So.
Yeah, Pharaoh is... Yeah, that actually is really funny. Pharaoh is actually a little bit ahead of Glacius, too. Wow. Damn. So he has quite a while. They need to give him that. Actually, the sooner they get him that level 6, pull him, help him stack something, have the artillery cleared out, have him sit behind. Just let him get that experience at level 6 right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna be rocking it once he gets it. We actually see there he did pull the camp. That might be enough to give him his level 5 or near to it. And Torture at this point, he actually is stacking that camp, the hard camp closer to the lane. So yeah, they are trying to set it up to get him that experience.
Artillery is being delivered an Energizer here from the Courier, so as soon as we come out of this pause.
I love it. I love it, especially when he's being played in more of that mid-roll. He's going to get down here a lot earlier in the game. He went Energizer, Moon Queen, Whispering Helm, so a bit more of a team fight item at least.
Yeah. And Baboy going to have it delivered right here.
She needs a Whispering Helm to farm. Artillery just doesn't care. I mean, the LRM
has a built-in, kind of like that Draconis. Just has it built in very efficiently, so. As soon as Moon Queen, well, she actually ports to the bottom lane here, and now she's going to try to be a little bit safer with her farm at the bottom lane. Obviously, again, we're progressing on. She now knows that that portal key has been picked up by Pebbles. You do not want to continue to farm up that top lane with very little vision. So get vision down here at the bottom side. You see one near the bottom rune. Maybe even a ward in the lane as well would be good here, but keeping Moon Queen alive going to be the name of the game here right now.
They're applying pressure. I mean, I would have stood back if I was a Luna there. St. Rock's playing it just to give Pebbles and Tord a little bit better, more of that experience. Sooner it hits Pharaoh hits 6, the better it is for the team. I know they were going for the push, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Looking to clear out this wave, and yeah, they are giving the Pharaoh the room he needs to, get active in this game.
I love what they're doing here in the middle lane, too. Artillery is kind of pushing it up. He was pushing him a little bit further, and in fact, that couldn't be cut on the other end on top of that. That shot goes out, but again, just too much damage. Hammerstorm again there for a stun, but it just doesn't matter. The damage output, the start that Pebbles has had, sets it up beautifully and gets a kill on a Wretched Hag. And this push will continue both at the top and the middle lane. It could be 2 tower kills right here for Justice League, actually. QsQ is pushing the bottom lane in the meantime, but another big pickoff coming out from Justice League.
And Nox is trying to do his best to say, like, hey, I know I'm the Moon Queen, I know I have the carry potential, I'm just gonna keep split farming and pushing this lane because I know it's a wipe everywhere else. Pharaoh, what actually happened? Was he taking the tower there for a while?
Yeah, he was.
Speed push it, yeah. And they have health potions for it, so.
Tower kills, and the bottom one still has half lives, and they're going to defend it right here. In fact, Pebbles is coming in.
Yep.
Oh, very nice, actually.
And deny onto the torture, man. So
Double
St. Rocks,
deny.
man, he just hates his teammates. He's like, screw you, Tilla. Screw you, Zane. Wretched Hag is a little bit... Can't be the happiest about that, but...
Yeah, I missed the first and I got the second.
Oh, no, it was just in the river. I mean, he survived with 1 hit. He was backing up in the river. It was only level 1 haunt effect applied, so there's plenty of time for him to line it up. And well done nonetheless.
It's just a very smart play.
Yeah, great job though by Jonas to show up there, land that huge bat blast. I was a little bit worried for Pharaoh there after taking the tower. He had the health pot going, but Jonas showed just the right time.
Yeah. Not too often you see double denies coming up, so again, definitely a memorable moment there. Pebbles charging in. He is going to. Oh, the stalagmites miss Glacius. Nova gets away. He gets chucked away. Moon Finale coming out, though. Zergo's in trouble. Zergo will fall. That miss stalagmites, and you end up getting killed. Big counter kill for QsQ there.
Yeah, that missed stuff. I was going to say, it's always and this isn't really applying anymore, but it's always that first fight right after you get your portal key with Pebbles. Sometimes you see the Pebbles, they get their portal key and they jump into a bad situation. They're getting baited out and they get killed. And from there on out, it seems like the Pebbles is like, shit, I lost all momentum here.
Yeah.
And you're like suffering to find ganks. Obviously, he made it work this game. He's been going around the rat picking him off. But it definitely sucks when that happens because he went in knowing that the only way he was going to get out of that okay was if he killed the Glacius in that combo. And having missed it, he was just forced into bad positioning. And well, they capitalized well. And they need any of those situations, any of those circumstances they can find in order to make a comeback in a game like this.
I mean, Moon Queen got the kill. You just look at her farm, and it's ridiculous. 457 gold per minute. Moon Queen going the Brutalizer here. No, obviously not going the Brutalizer. Middle lane, Pebbles does get immediate revenge, though. He takes out Deadwood here in the middle lane as soon as he comes back. But you do see Moon Queen with both the Quick Blade and the Mighty Blade. Obviously going to eventually turn those into a Geometer's Bane. And then Shrunken Head most likely.
Yeah, go for the Firebrand first in a case like this. Yeah, I mean, Moon Queen has overtaken for a while there. Artillery artillery wasn't overshadowing her. She was always a little bit ahead of that artillery earlier on in exchange for the Pebbles. But I believe there was a point where she was forced around to 360 where artillery was 400. Am I wrong?
I think so. I think Moon Queen has been in the lead basically the whole game.
Pretty consistently though.
Yeah.
So.
Artillery is getting scary though himself. He did go the Firebrand here. So not going the Nullstone route actually. What do you think of that? Not going the Nullstone here for Artillery.
Take a look at what he's up against. I think Geometer's Bane is potentially nice. We can cancel Nullstone with the Log Toss, I guess. It's fine. He's just a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more team fight oriented. Doesn't have the mana to power farm as much.
That's what I was concerned about, yeah. it does.
And there are a fair amount of single target disables on the other side that can break it. I guess there's Ice Imprisonment, Moonbeams, a lot of things that, yeah, just figured this would be helping him out a little bit more, and it's this escape mechanism he can dodge. But he can get outside the Glacius Ice Imprisonment, at least still using that Jammer's Bane, so it sort of acts like an also in some capacities. And maybe if Deadwood tries to, you know, jump in and punch up a quick Jammer's Bane as well, might help him. But yeah, other than that, it is going to hurt his farm. A little bit. I mean, the hero's still power farm.
I mean, overall right now, it is 5,600 gold lead right here for the Hellborn team. Nearly 6,000 gold lead, actually, as Artillery cleaning up a triple stack camp there. So they're not going to continue to push in the meantime. They're going to kind of start roaming around, although Pebbles will continue to push. But Moon Queen just finishing her Firebrand herself. She takes out some Ancients. And again, continuing to increase. It's really just a case of, I mean, just the goal from in a chart, man, it just continues to be bad for QsQ specifically. Deadwood just cannot recover. He's still at 120, and as I say that, he gets picked off yet again. St. Rock's actually getting credit for the kill right here. You see Glacius and Moon Queen coming in, but just not in time.
They can't jump anyone without the Deadwood, so they're constantly on their heels. And on top of the fact that they have a Pharaoh for that map control, for that map presence, there's just a lot of lockdown coming up, so they don't have any breathing room. The other thing I mentioned is, I honestly don't feel like Nullstone is essential on Artillery. It does help his farming a bit, but I think it's okay to go more active items right away at the start. He went for the team fighting the Energizer. The Energizer and the Firebrand do have a bit of synergy as well, and just keeping him safe and allowing him to sort of kite the enemy team around, where right now Deadwood doesn't have a portal key, so he can kite pretty damn effectively in these fights.
Yeah. Oh, they want to kill this Moon Queen. Look at Nox. He's kind of toying with him. He knows that they're nearby, but he's just going in. He's constantly going. He wants to use the Moon Queen to get a creep kill even. I mean, now he's going to go into the jungle a little bit. You see Pebbles and Aluna. They're ready to get this kill, though, as soon as he exposes. Glacius, however, coming out. There's a rocket coming out. There's a jump from Pebbles. Power throw on top. We'll get the kill. Glacius and Hammerstorm are here. They may get a counter kill on Aluna. Pebbles also still nearby, though. There's the sun. Look at the rest of the squad. They want revenge, damn it. They're up for blood, but at what cost? Oh, the artillery barrage completely missing everybody, actually, from Imba Boy right there. He is going to Energizer himself and Pebbles, though, and they will get away. So still a very, very big victory there for Justice League, but kind of an
I was going to say, oh, boo-hoo, a counter kill onto the lowest hero in the game.
Yeah.
He did have a 4-0 streak going, so he actually probably lost a little bit less gold for that death. They probably got a little more for killing him, but yeah, otherwise, St. Rock's, he's been going for those Ghost Marchers right away in every single game. Actually did pick up power supply this game onto his Aluna, and he's actually pretty damn farm here, man, for being level 5. Look at that, actually. Look at that.
Wow, you're right. Holy crap. Ghost Marchers, Neophyte? Jeez.
Ghost Marchers, Neophytes book, power supply investments at level 5.
Jeez, yeah, he is managed to get some good farm. You said
all
that
the outer towers are down. He hasn't had to spend much, so.
Yeah, that was his first death. So he's going to go to the
kills.
bottom lane right here with Pebbles. Wretched Hag needs to be careful. Oh, they thought she ran backwards. She did not, though. Good job by Jonas fan going the other direction, and he's going to blink into the trees. The power throw not going to spot here. And Jonas fan should be fine unless they randomly see her somehow, but it doesn't look like that is going to be the case. So, but Pebbles, Zergo, man, he's just keeping up the activity ever since he's gotten the portal key. He's actually going to find an Invis rune right here. That'll be good for him to pick up, which he will do so right there. He blinks with it, and now he's invisible in the Legion jungle currently.
Yeah, no form of rev wards either, so to speak. Yeah, well, okay, now Glacius has one. Nova just had one delivered, actually, and maybe in response. Look at where he has it placed. They actually had vision. No, they didn't have vision of the rune, but
he ran past another rev ward, though.
Oh,
yeah.
Did he? Oh, he ran past the one. Yeah, that one down there. So
down here.
Nova hoping he can try to bait him out, maybe. Look, everyone's waiting.
Yep.
But he's not even going for the same target. He's got a different agenda here.
He's going to go for Hag instead. He's going to find Hag down here.
Too bad the Tormented Soul didn't actually come trying to scout out the Wretched Hag who was hiding in that spot for seemingly forever. I mean, they kind of just used a power throw to scout the situation, and they just said, screw it. Tormented Soul being much more suited for that fact.
Oh, so you see right there, he will finally open, and Hag's like, okay, I'm out of here. Not going to stick around. Going to go ahead and run for it. So Artillery has managed to even up now with this Moon Queen. That's for the first time in this game, I believe. I believe Moon Queen has had the lead up until this point. So Artillery actually picking up that mighty blade now. Another 1,500 gold saved up. QsQ going to feel like they need to group up and push here, perhaps. I mean, Hag is level 11, by the way. And her farm is definitely starting to go in the up and up finally here for QsQ. But nope, not going to push the middle lane, instead they're going to fall back for now. And continue to farm some more here.
Yeah, with that shrunken head, man, it really is a much more aggressive style of artillery than we're used to seeing a lot lately.
Yeah.
So.
Not so worried about the sit back and farm steroid effect. Just wants to be involved in these fights. I mean, obviously with the lead that they have, because Moon Queen, sure, but the rest of the team is definitely behind, and it kind of makes sense when you look at it that way. That he wants to take advantage when you know you have it, basically. So, sure, he could have made the point that he wants to just compete with this Moon Queen here and take it eventually to the late game, but that does buy more time for Deadwood to eventually come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his late game presence is really being affected either way. He's sitting at 430 gold per minute. It's only been climbing still, so. Yeah, either way, not to mention Shrunken Head just very strong against the entire team in general, so. So, I mean, Deadwood, man, he had to go Striders this game. I mean, what?
Yeah.
The Striders, Deadwood, I mean, he is a ganker. You can still always make a case for it, but that definitely means it's a suffer.
It's not horrendous, but yeah.
No,
still,
it does mean it's a suffer game, though, when
yeah,
you see the Striders.
It's not
like
priority.
I'm saying, oh, that was a shitty pickup when he had such a little farm. If he was going for a major boot upgrade in the first place and he's trying to be around and make things happen, he's got to take what he can get at this point. So.
Yep. It's also, you know, you always got to feel for players that, again, he just had a difficult start. It just snowballed from there for him specifically against him. And well, just having the mental mindset that it happens, just stay in the game and eventually can recover. We've seen it many of times. So, and Style just doing his part here. Hey, he's on route to eventually get that portal key within the next 3 or 4 minutes or so. And, you know, gets that and will start being a much more of a use for his team now. For QsQ once that does happen. Pebbles, though, in the meantime, he just cleans up those triple stack Ancients right there. Got some great assistance from the team, of course, but I believe he got the majority of the farm, and he continues to be up there on the GPM chart as well, as he is nearing the 400 gold per minute mark. He also with the Blessed Orb, by the way. So,
look at Pharaoh just got.
What did Pharaoh? Oh, the barbed armor.
Yeah, really going to be effective here too. Moon Queen beams being a little bit uncontrollable. He jumps in the middle of that fight, and those beams bounce on him. I can definitely punish the Moon Queen quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Shrunken Head picked up, but it does still work through it. It does still damage her through it, so.
Yep.
A little bit more squishy, not to mention artillery, the LRM tearing up as well. So
and
he manages to use his ultimate onto her.
Oh, Moon Queen gonna be jumped right here. The Pathor comes down the start from Balloon and the final auto attack, and Moon Queen will fall. Nox goes down, and of course, Justice, like the pick that they were looking for. She also just purchased the Shrunken Head, so she is not buying back. This is not a fight you want to take of your Q squad. The Deadwood's gonna run in, but at what cost right here? He's gonna be chucked in the air. Off to the side, Hamstroke going to the Pharaoh. Deadwood will eventually fall. Glacia's gonna go down. What is Q squad thinking right now? Pebbles is gonna collapse on a Hag. He should be able to blink away. There's a chuck in the air. The follow-up not going to be in time. She runs with the creep wave, though.
All right,
the LRM will snipe her out. Q squad just falling apart at the seams in this fight.
Yeah, man, I don't know. And the thing was, even if Moon Queen had a Shrunken Head at that point, if Pharaoh manages to land a Wrath of the Pharaoh on her at this point, activates that barbed armor, the LRM goes off from this Shrunken Head artillery. Nothing is stopping him. Nothing is stopping him.
I just don't get why QsQ stuck around. So they were even initiating back in themselves. I mean, your Moon Queen
they had no way. Their Moon Queen's dead, and they still have the Pharaoh ultimate up. They still have the barbed armor. They still have this like completely crazed out artillery. I don't know, man. It's like the kind of case where they're like, we have to try to make something happen. They're probably not the happiest with this game, man. You gotta realize that they're probably down at this point. I had a huge comeback here in Game 2, but in Game 3 now it's completely looking grim. She's okay, who's going to farm up a tablet at this point? You see Jonas fan, he's got a Neophytes book. I mean, I guess your Wretched Hag can get it, but then if your Wretched Hag is getting it, you're not really assuring much late game growth there. So, yeah, and as long as he gets that Wrath of the Pharaoh up, and Mummy Walls are only level 1 right now, but especially as they get leveled up, then Moon Queen is just absolutely screwed. And Beast Heart actually going to be afforded by Pharaoh here if he wants to get extra health for that barbed armor here too.
Pebbles looking for their opportunity here in the middle lane, going to go for it. Oh, he misses the Stalagmites again, though. Freeze comes down. This could be the turning point for QsQ. Well, the in comes the Wrath of the Pharaoh. The Moon Walls goes off. LRM going to be spammed. Glacius will fall. Moon Queen getting 1 kill, getting 2 kills, but just so much damage. Artillery's chasing. Nice job with the Falcon Punch. One more auto attack will do it. Nox going to go for the port. It's not going to happen, though. So a good stand from QsQ. They did have a good chance right there. But Moon Queen does get picked in the end. So even with the numbers advantage for QsQ, I still think, again, Justice League happy with the victory fight.
Yeah, and there were a little bit of tiny misplays there, and like if Moon Queen, one of the LRM shells just hit her a little bit earlier, she would have died there sooner. You saw pretty much, in spite of the fact that the LRM wasn't focused on her initially, in spite of the fact that Pebbles missed his combo initially, she still went down. That's what we were talking about. As long as the Pharaoh hooks her, she is screwed. Didn't have the Beast Heart yet there on the Pharaoh either. Additional health with that barbed armor will definitely help for the follow-up fight, and he has the perfect goal for it now. I'd be very tempted to pick it up.
Yeah.
He's in the base. He's buying something. Oh, glowstone, so he's gonna go for that staff instead, I guess. Either way, it gives him health, and that's all I wanted to see. I don't care if it's Beast Heart, going for the Helm of the Black Legion. I mean, health is good.
And staff's an
you don't
awesome
need
item
damage
on him,
mitigation
too.
as much. Yeah, staff is.
Ooh, Hammerstorm's in a lot of trouble here. Stalagmites comes out. He's not surviving this. Red Power Throw connects, and Hammerstorm will just be a sacrificial lamb right there. So another kill picked up at Justice League. Obviously, when you're in a state of the game right now, as you are if you're Q Squad, you're just gonna have to accept losses like that at this point. It's just going to naturally happen from Justice League. So we did also get to see the power of the barbed armor, I believe, in that fight too. It seemed like Moon Queen, a lot of her life was just started to drop because of the barbed armor. Obviously, artillery putting in the auto attacks too definitely helped with that, but
Yeah, the barbed armor did a ton of the work. So
yeah.
Puzzle box now has been
I saw
on
that, yeah.
Luna for a bit. That's the first time I've ever seen that in my life.
Secondary support.
I don't even know how many thousands of games I've played that I've seen a puzzle box. I honestly think just ever, period, bar any game.
On a Luna?
On a Luna, yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of a... it's decent.
It was buffed up to
now.
try to be allowed to be a little bit more of a utility item. I will admit, I haven't, since the changes to it, I don't have extensive experience with it. So, being able to comment on the entire relative effectiveness of the item now that it can see true sight, now that the minions are buffed a little bit, how effective it can be in that slot. They definitely have a huge advantage. So at this point, no matter what he's picking up, he's going to be buffing up his team. Doesn't need to counter anything like a Pharaoh with a push book. So a pretty defined item route.
Wretched Hag right here, sitting off to the side. Does have a double damage rune, but not going to kill artillery. So. Going to port out.
That double damage rune for him not going to really matter. Is going light Brandon said, so not going for that push book. So literally there is nothing that can save Moon Queen if Pharaoh hits R, hits W. Just
sit back and relax. Let your team do the work.
Hit R, hit W, and then roll your face on the keyboard, and he's going to win. Hell, he can honestly just, probably play it out. Just honestly, just sit back and watch from there.
Yeah, it's obviously a tough spot for Q Squad right now. And again, I didn't think I'd be saying that going into the series. In fact, we did have a poll go out. It didn't get the most result. It got nearly 100 votes in the end, I think, from the community. But it was like 90% of the people, if not even higher, were voting for Q Squad to win the series. Majority of them even 2-0. So definitely a shocker, upset in the making here. In favor of Justice League, but it ain't over just yet. Q Squad, Devil gonna jump in there with his new portal key, but at what cost? Devil getting turned on immediately. The Sharknet goes up from artillery, and you look at Devil getting falling. There's the catch on the Moon Queen, and as you said, Emperor, the other arm comes out. Moon Queen is forced to run away the whole time. One more auto attack gonna do her in. No, the 2-minute soul that still has the Sharknet up, so gonna be fine, but not gonna be enough. Pebbles goes in. I would expect to see those GGs coming out here. Hat trick for Saint Rocks actually coming out after it's all said and done as well. Oh man.
Yeah, they knew him, man. Still nowhere near. Yeah, even if like they had hell at this point, it doesn't matter. They're just so farm artillery is looking so huge. Has a Savage Mace coming out now, and just I think it's actually flying to him right here. Let's actually take a look there at the core. He has a Savage Mace coming out. Breaky, that's this. Yes, no way, no way, no way. I don't believe in miracles in a case like this. They just. I've said it before. I've gotten surprised. I like to say this because I feel like every time I say this, the enemy team does pull a miracle. They do manage to make it happen, so that's why I'm saying it here. They have absolutely no chance of coming back in this game.
Yeah.
Those are my
so Q Squad's going to win this now. Yeah, you just saw a perfect example, right? You said it going into the fight. Literally, Pharaoh just hit R, hit W. I mean, Moon Queen was forced that whole fight basically from the beginning to just run. And doing very little to no damage. I mean, they still got a couple of picks, sure, but it just didn't matter in the end. I mean, artillery now with the token on top of that, the damage output ludicrous here. You do have Pebbles. He's had the sheepstick in the last fight, but on top of that, now he definitely purchased something. What did he buy? I guess there's nothing on the courier yet or anything.
So he kind of had this Firebrand. He's just been letting it chill for a while. He's like, I don't need a
to artillery.
He's
Yeah.
for the move speed synergy, I guess, with the Energizer. Maybe was initially planning on potentially
Oh!
going it, but didn't need it.
Moonqueen getting caught out by Pebbles himself and still drops
Wait,
him.
no, that was also an Aluna snipe.
A Luna snipe, sure, but Pebbles obviously initiating it.
And you know what was the kicker in that, though? It's the sheep stick that Pebbles has.
Yep.
That's that's bad when you're able to get solo kill as the team's primary carry, as the team's primary farmer, and actually make that happen.
First tower kill of the game right there for Q Squad. Nearly 30 minutes in, as you see more and more chaos happening. Pharaoh jumps in, gets the kill. Now he is in a tough spot, but he does have a Luna nearby. Luna goes up the stun Falcon punch on the Pharaoh. He's pretty damn tanky though. I mean, look at how tanky he is. Hammerstorm activates the brute strength and will tear through all that armor to eventually get the kill. So they do get a little bit of revenge right there, but as I was just stating though too, the first tower kill just happened for Q Squad 30 minutes into the game. Another thing that just has not gone well for them, honestly. So.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Oh,
Grimoire power, yeah. That's
Okay.
something. Artillery has joined the party, though. Everyone but Pharaoh's up. Still, it's going to be a 5v4 if they choose to keep on pushing without rolling back. Pharaoh has buyback, but doesn't want to use it. Clearly, they feel like they're safe in their approach. Moonqueen is now up. Glyph is applied. If they want to try to make something happen, maybe now with the numbers advantage, but they know she's up now. They're backing up, safe, and take it on clear. Artillery has that token too, man, so when it comes to sieging the base, that huge range, the massive damage he has at this point, it's leaving them with no response.
Yeah. Well, you gotta definitely respect Q Squad. Again, this is it. This is an elimination game, a loser's bracket here. And the DreamHack, I mean, this is a team. Going into this event, I don't think we've even really stressed that. I mean, hold on, thought that for a second. We did see Pebbles jumping to get a wrench attack. The power throw did miss. Now Pebbles is going to be on the run. There's the Wrath of the Pharaoh, though. Catches a couple of heroes. Artillery not here just yet, however, and Pharaoh will just get absolutely nailed out. But there's Artillery. Caught him with the other arm, and down goes Moonqueen as Pebbles jumps back in. And still a massively 1-5 by the Helper team. Oh, a big bat blast, actually.
Bat blast,
but it doesn't matter. Just simply too late.
Well, you saw the damage output that the Rush Ag is capable of with that Grimoire power, but yeah, it just doesn't matter. It is too late. It is too late. You look at it back, if some of those fatal mistakes weren't made, if they even had, even they're down 5 to 8K right now, you might be like, okay, yeah, sure. They got the Grimoire, they have huge team fight potential, they have Moonqueen, but it really just, they weren't able to make those plays happen. I mean, at the point in the game where that barbed armor was picked up, they had no response to it, and that just made the team fight so easy here for Justice League.
Oh, look. Nova just gets 3-shot right there by Imbo Boy as he's walking away with the port coming in. So, again, Q Squad just hanging in there. I mean, just doing whatever they can. Obviously, they definitely know that they are just well behind, but again, it's their choice whether or not to concede, and they have every right to stay in this game as long as possible, but still just continue to be massive lead for Justice League, and I don't see that changing. But the point I was getting at, though, I mean, really, when you think about it, this event, so obviously this is the qualifying event for DreamHack. You have the top 2 teams are going to be going on. X-Trademark, they're already going, again, being the reigning champions, of course, so they weren't even in this event. Stay Green, again, the favorite, so they were the one team that a lot of people are sure of. Obviously, we still need to wait and see. But then after that, I mean, who do you got? You got Q Squad, you got Lions, you got Complexity, you got a couple of these teams that people are naming. Q Squad, one of those teams. Here they are in the losers bracket round 2, about to get knocked out by Justice League here. So.
And Justice League said it before, it's nice going into these matches, and they hope they don't have QsQs anything because they're always considered the underdog. So teams might go into these matches a little bit more relaxed, not needing to prepare certain strategies or really think about the matchup too much, being like, oh yeah, we got this, we're a higher tier team. And yeah, that's kind of the mentality a lot of times, actually. I don't feel like that should ever be the case. I'm not saying that is the case with Q Squad, but a lot of times you do see that mentality where teams sort of like do divide themselves up into cliques or tiers. They're like, okay, you know, we're like an A-tier team, this team's like a C-tier team. They have no chance based on the premise that they aren't as good. So they're able to goof around a little bit more. I'm not saying that's what happened, but you do have an advantage going into a lot of matchups when you are a team like Justice League that hasn't had any breakout success yet. They've shown that they can take games here and there, but they haven't I'd say more and more so lately, though, they are earning the respect of the competitive scene, well, so I don't discount them all. I've always liked them as a team. I always thought they had tremendous room for growth, and especially with the latest roster that they've put together, I don't really see the weak links of the past.
Well, no doubt. I mean, I don't follow Justice League necessarily. A lot of people don't, just simply put, but I think it's safe to say that this is going to be their, again, if they put, it's not over just yet, but if it stays this result, if they do pull through and win the series 2 games to nothing, this is their biggest victory ever. I mean, for what is on the line, going up against Q Squad, and we do see Pebbles going in right here. Wrath the Pharaoh King coming in. Devil will eventually fall. Pebbles may follow. Yes, he will. The Moon Queen though, he's to the barbed armor. Holy crap! Moon Queen just falling to that barbed armor. LRM finally coming out to clean up the job. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the barbed armor just tears apart Moon Queen. Hammerstar gets picked up. It's going to be a near genocide. Richard blinking away at the last second. Pebbles did buy back to come back into the fight, but again, it's just
help assist with the push right now. Token still up only for 60 seconds. They doesn't want to take advantage. Moon Queen has buyout though, but no Bat Blast here for Wretched Hag. Gonna see if they can make a stand. Only have a Deadwood coming up in 10 seconds, and how's his ultimate status? It is down to 30, so no real worries about that Deadwood spawning up. That should be a dead melee Rex, no questions asked. There's really no purpose for Moon Queen buying back.
Yeah. Third Deadwood and drag Richard Hag. Not a favorable spot. We do see Pebbles going to jump in right here. Sheepstick goes out on a Wretched Hag. LRM's going to be used on top of that. The chuck in the air. No, cannot blink in time. Imba Boy is dominating. He's 8-0-8 currently. So not nearly immortal by any means, but he is just, well, he is dominating as the game does state. I mean, you see the GPM too. We haven't really looked at that in a while, but 635 go per minute. Glacius gets chucked in to the death trap right there. Eventually falls. Deadwood runs in. It's Q Squad is going for kills here. Hag blinks back in. Artillery may eventually go down with the token alive. He will, it looks like.
Wow, just right before it died, man. Right, actually, a couple more seconds on that token of life would have been evaporated. They would have actually gotten the kill on him, yeah.
Didn't even notice that. Moon Queen chasing here. Artillery still finding his ground. Choking not going to wear off, though, and that's going to be locked. But here comes Pharaoh. Big Mighty Wall. Turns around with the other arm, and look at just like that. The Legion team absolutely falls to pieces. 12 kills coming out. A hat trick for Imbo Boy. He is getting closer and closer to that Immortal here. There's the bunch. You can see it, though. GG well played. It looks like it will become official. Justice League takes out Q Squad. 2-1 here in the losers bracket round 2 of the DreamHack Summer 2013 qualifiers. And again, Q Squad's out. I mean,
that's it. They're out of the running. They're out of the running.
That's it for them for DreamHack.